Good morning. It's story time. This story's about my baby daddy, Brian. Brian number one, because I dated two Brians. This is the American Brian, my baby daddy. I also dated a Brian. He's Guyanese, but that's another story I'm gonna tell. Anyway, Brian, who's my baby father, nice guy, great family. He was a good boyfriend. He was a really good boyfriend. I was in school, and when I met him, well, let me tell you how I met him. There was this guy who I grew up with, and his mom and my mom were best friends. He always liked me. But I didn't like him like that. I liked him as a brother, real cool. He's a real cool guy, a real sweetheart. He's very cute, very handsome, and but I just didn't like him like that because I grew up with him, so I liked him as a brother. I like him as a big brother, but he really liked me. And one day he called me. I moved out the neighborhood. Everybody moved. I was in my teens and 18, and he called me one day at my house, and he kept on the phone, kept asking me to chill with him, blah 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 blah. So I came out and I told him, I'm like, listen, I don't like you like that. I like you as a friend. You my buddy. You're my homeboy, and thing like that. So he had a friend. He had a friend listening to the conversation. So his friend said, "Give me that phone." So he gave the phone to my future baby daddy. He's on the phone. Why you dissing my boy like that? Blah blah blah. So I told him, I said, no. I said, I'm not dissing him. I'm like, you know, I love him to death. I love him like a brother. I don't like him as a boyfriend. And I'm trying to tell him that, but I don't know if he's taking offense to that. And up to this day, up till this day, him and this other guy, every time they see me, but I love them both as brothers. And so baby daddy's too soon to be started talking on the phone, blah blah. So I guess the guy went out the room. So he started kicking it to me. He's like, "Oh, so how you doing? You don't like my boy, but you sound nice." Blah blah blah. He's talking to me on the phone, and we were just chilling. He said, "Why don't you take my number?" I said, "Well, I would take your number." He said, "No, because you sound like a nice person, and you explained to me that you don't like him like that, blah blah blah." So I said, "All right, because my mother wasn't allowing me to date nobody." So anyway, we exchanged numbers, and me and him was talking, and then he started calling me, and me and him started talking and stuff like that. So we talked on the phone, and 'cause my mother was not having it. My mother was very strict, and we talked on the phone and stuff like that. So then his friend, which is my friend, also found out that we was talking. Oh my God. He never told me what happened between them two, but they still ended up being friends, but he never told me what happened between that. And the guy was mad, but I explained to him, I'm like, listen, you're my brother. I love you to death either way. But, you're my brother. I grew up with you. I didn't think of you as a boyfriend. So he's like, nah, you don't like me because I'm dark. But I'm like, no. I said, that's not it. I said, I just think it's you as my brother, you know? And because my baby daddy is light skinned. And you know, anyway, he's a bit much. Well, at least he was. He was a bit conceited and stuff like that because he was cute and everything like that. So anyway, me and him started talking. He talked to my mom, and my mom told him he can visit or whatever. So we started talking. Then my mom started getting into business, asking her best friend, "Who's this guy? What they all about?" And she told my mom, "Listen, the family is very Christian. They all into the church. Blah 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 blah." Da, 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 da. So then my mom said it was okay to at least talk to him or whatever. So when we started talking, he was very good. He used to take care of me. I'm telling you, I was in school. I wasn't working at the time. I mean, I was working part time, because I would go here and there and do work. Because when you're in college, you work part time, you work temp, you do anything to get through life as a college student. So he sat me down. He said, "Listen," he said, "I don't make that much." He said, "But one of my checks is for my mom's because I gotta help my mom's." And the other check is gonna be for us. I'm like, "For us?" He said, "Yeah." So I said, "Okay," whatever us meant. And sure enough, every other paycheck, he would at least do one thing with me. He couldn't splurge me and do everything with me, but he one paycheck he would take me out to dinner. He was the first one that took me out to Taz. I thought I was born. I was like, oh, because Taz was the thing back then, the steakhouse, the steak place. And then the other check he would take me to the movies. The other check he would take me shopping. So that's how it went with me and him. But each check he would make sure that he give me some money to get through life, to get to school and stuff like that, until I can get my Pell and stuff like that to pay for my books or whatever. And then if I needed anything, he paid. So he was a great boyfriend, for real. I have nothing bad to say about Brian, baby daddy Brian, in regards to being a boyfriend. Because he was good. He had a great family. I loved him to death. I still love them to death because, he does have a great family. And he got his brothers and his sisters. Him and his sisters, they all light skinned. Him and his brothers, they dark skinned. So it's like you wouldn't know that they brothers unless you really look, and then you see the resemblance. But a couple of them is dark and he's light, so you wouldn't know. But he was the middle child, and he had he had his older brothers had to share a room, and he had his own room. So then I'm like, what is that? He said, oh, because I'm working and my other brother is in the army and my other brother, he's working now and then. So my mom gave me my own room. So I said, all right. So then he had his sisters and stuff. So his whole family is a great family. I love him to death. I'm always making sure that my son calls or what. Well, anyway. So we eventually we broke up because I became saved because of his mom. She pressured me. Mrs. H pressured me to go up and, get baptized. And I'm like, so, the preacher, so every time the preacher called, she'd be looking at me. Because it was mandatory for me to go to church on a Sunday with her. So I used to go to church with her and everything, her and her sisters, and it was mandatory. I'm telling you, Miss H did not play, and she still don't play. So every time they preacher call up, she look at me. I was like, so I said, so one day I said, oh, what the hell? I'm like, I'm living that life anyway. I'm a good girl. I don't do certain things. I don't wear makeup anyway, and I don't wear no tight clothes and stuff like that. So I said, what the hey? I'm living the life anyway. Boom, got saved, drowned in holy water and everything. Cause the church that I went to up on Eastern Parkway, in the church, they got a pool where you can, get baptized. So I got baptized in the church and everything. Well, who told me to do that? So in the background, I didn't know all this was going on. So all of a sudden, my baby father started acting funny. You know, he wouldn't take me shopping no more. He wouldn't be at work. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? So she used to press my hair because I was natural at the time. So one day she talking to me while she pressed my hair. Well, what's going on with you and Brian? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, everything is okay, but me not knowing he got another girl. So and because she probably sat him down and told him, listen, Miss G is saved right now, and you ain't saved, so y'all can't be. It's unequally yoked. I didn't know that, but that's how Pentecostal churches get down. If you ain't yoked and she's yoked, or vice versa, y'all gotta break up. I didn't know that. So, so that's what I'm thinking. So one day it was his payday. I went to his job And I asked around for him. Oh, he's not here, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, that was one of the worst snow days in New York history. So I'm standing outside in the snow waiting for him. And then finally I went in. They said, oh, he's not here. But he was there. But he saw me outside waiting for me. He told him to say I'm not there. So I went to his house. So I left Manhattan. He worked in Canal Jeans back in the day. I'm going to tell all your business, Brian. I'm going to tell all your business. No, I'm just joking, babe. I'm just joking. Yeah, he worked in Canal Jeans. And I went back to Brooklyn and went to his house. So his mom was there, and she was getting ready to go to church. It was the weekday. She went to church Monday through Sunday. So she said, "Okay, you can stay here and wait for him or whatever." And she left me there. Then his brother came in, and no, did his brother come in yet? No, his brother didn't come in yet. So I'm in his room waiting for him, blah blah blah. When I fell asleep, whatever. Then I heard the door open, and I heard people talking. I'm like, then I heard his voice. I said, "Oh, okay." Went outside. Boom. I turned the corner. Boom. I saw a girl with a whole bunch of packages, and him behind her. I'm like, whoa. I looked. At that time, your mind got to work quick on what to do. So I looked and I turned back around and I went back in the room. I sat on a bed. I'm like, what to do? Because obviously, he's talking to her, whatever. So then I said, Brian, can I talk to you for a minute? Well, I'll call him by his middle name, but I'm not going to say his middle name. I said, Brian, can I talk to you for a minute? And he waited. So I went outside. I said, can I talk to you for a minute? So the girl now, which is his second baby mother, well, at the time she wasn't pregnant yet. So his other baby mama looked at me and she wanted to fight me, and I'm like, listen, this is not between you and I. It's between me and him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's telling you, so I'm not, but she wanted to fight. She's Jamaican. I'm Trini. Okay? So she was up and ready to fight, boy. And I'm like, listen, it's not about you. It's me and him. So I went back in the room, called him again. He came in. He said, yes. So he expected me to curse him out, fight him, slap him, whatever. I said, can I have $20, please? He looked. He said, $20 for what? I said, well, I spent my last $2 to come down here to see you. And I don't have no more money to get home. Can I have $20 so I can get home? Or can you give me enough money for bus fare to go home? And that's all I said to him. Because my heart fell down. I don't know, down to my gut, knees, whatever. My heart fell, and I didn't know what to do. I don't fight for men. And he already told me the story right there. You walking in with her, I see the bags. You happy you've been, ignoring me for a while and you've been distant and stuff like that. So the story's told. So I don't need no explanation. So then, when he was in the room, his eldest brother came in, and I guess he saw the situation and he just staying there. So he gave me so Brian gave me the $20, and he left the room. After we talked a little bit, he left the room. I didn't want to talk about nothing. You just broke my heart in pieces. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to explain the situation. The story that already told. You used to take me shopping every time you get paid. Today's your payday. She's walking in with the bags, all happy and everything. The story's told already. I don't need no explanation. You don't like me no more. So then he left the room, and his brother came in, his eldest brother, because me and his eldest brother was mad cool. And he saw the situation and he said, "What you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm getting dressed so I could go home." He said, "I'll walk you to the bus stop." And his brother walked me to the bus stop and told me, well, that was his ex. And all of a sudden she came around. They started talking again and blah blah blah. And they got back together. And he wished that Brian would have told me, but Brian's a punk. He's not. But he said, I wish you well, and you don't deserve it. So I said, okay, thank you. He put me in the cab. He told me take a cab home. Don't take the bus. I took a cab home. He put me in the cab, and I went home. Sunday came, I didn't go to church. And then Sunday evening, who calls me? Brian. I'm like, what do you want? Oh, my mom want to know why you ain't go to church. I said, I didn't go to church because I'm leaving room for your new girlfriend to get to know the family. I don't think it's right for me to be around your family anymore because you have a new girlfriend now. So, I'm going to find another church to go to. And that's what I did. I found another church to go to. And, thing. Couple of months later, I found out I was pregnant. I called him and I told him I was pregnant. He said, what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. So we decided that I'll get rid of it. He gave me half the money. I made the appointment. Appointment came and left, never gone because God was telling me don't do it. So I didn't do it. I kept my child. He found out I didn't go because he called me that day that it was supposed to happen, and I told him I didn't do it or whatever. He said, "Can I have my money back?" As I'm gonna tell your mother. I said, "Come get your money back." So he came to get the money back and he begged me. He begged me to take it back. He told me he's sorry, blah, blah, blah. He said, we can work it out. He said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. He told me who she was, whatever. I said, no. I said, you cheated on me. And I said, I wish you the best, but I told him, I said, I don't want no man to stay with me because of a child, because you're just, prolonging the situation. I said, eventually, after the 9 months and the baby's here, you're going to find a reason to leave me again. So, let's just part now. And it broke my heart to say that because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I was pregnant. I didn't know what to expect or whatever. And, but I had to let him go. And even though he begged me to take him back, I told him no. And he walked through that door. And I stood at that doorbell because I was getting ready to call him back upstairs and tell him, okay, let's try it. Let's try it. But something didn't make me do it. You understand? And I didn't do it. So 6 months later, I didn't tell my mother till I started showing. I didn't know how to tell her. And then I told my mom, and then I had my son. Well, moms act the way moms act. Oh, this your child, blah 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 blah. You gonna take care of it. So then I gave birth to my child. My mom was there with me, side by side. You understand? She came to the hospital. She did her and my cousin and my aunt came, and with the baby and everything. And then I was trying to see what I'm gonna do to make some money. She told me, "Let me tell you something. You are not going on welfare, so you better find a job." She said, "Not in my house." She said, "You are not going on welfare. You're not going to be sitting on here going on." And that's the best thing my mom ever did for me. Well, my sister said she did the same to her. The best thing my mother ever told me to do was not to go on welfare. She told me find a job, in which I did.